People, guess what? I officially have a problem with April Fool's Day. People keep blowing my phone up. Steven, is Arch Manning committing this week? I keep hearing about it. I think that is an April Fool's joke, people. Steven, is Bryce Young in the transfer portal? That's an April Fool's joke. Steven, is Nick Saban retiring? It's an April Fool's joke. So today, already not feeling the April Fool's Day, but what I am feeling is this Bama football conversation you're locked and loaded onto the hottest show on the streets. The number one forum for Crimson Tide news. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Welcome in on a Friday TGIF edition of the show to Talk Bama. We're bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming to you the show on YouTube. And speaking of the channel, if you haven't done so, hit subscribe right now. Smash that subscribe button. If you have friends that are diehard Bama fans, family members that are diehard Bama fans, get them to subscribe as well, because if you like the content, they will too. Also, don't forget to leave a like. Run those likes up. Give us a thumbs up. Run those likes past the moon. Show your support. Make this your show, your network, your channel, platform, and space to Talk Bama. Turn on all of those post notifications. Hit that notification bell so that way you can be alerted and not miss anything when it comes to fresh content on your favorite program. We also got you covered streaming the show on Facebook and Twitter as well. We got fun today. We got a lot of fun this evening because Bama has its first scrimmage of spring practice on Saturday. A lot to discuss in that. A lot to look forward to in that. A lot to talk about in that. So definitely want to get into some scrimmage talk here. Also, is J.C. Latham prepared to rise on the offensive line? Some good things coming from his teammate Javion Cohen about the sophomore Latham on this front line. So we'll talk that. And then the Bama secondary, some updates on Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jordan Battle, DeMarco Helms, Brian Hitstick Branch. Got some updates on everybody in the secondary. But we want to hear from you, the passionate fans of Bama football. And you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Let the passion ooze through tonight. But daily super chat goes $75. Daily super chat goal. And my man Jimmy, cash him out, Clay, already taking care of the goal by himself, throwing in that $75 donation. And behind Jimmy, we got Jamie Wilhelm, my man Jamie. Jamie with that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate the love there from Jamie. Got to also shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio doing his thing behind the scenes. But let's get it cracking right now into the scrimmage. Alabama first live action practice taking place on tomorrow, Bryant-Denny Stadium. This will be the 8th session here of spring ball. And what a scrimmage is, it's a game-like practice. So Coach Saban and the coaching staff, they go into Bryant-Denny, they turn the lights on, they turn the scoreboard on, they turn the crowd noise on, pumping that stuff in there. You have officials in the game, and the players, they cannot overly rely on the coaches in the scrimmage. This is a time where you take the first 5 to 6 or 7 or however many practice sessions you've had. You take the amount of sessions you've had, and you go out there and you see, can you play fast? Can you play strong? Can you play physical? Can you play effective? Can you be able to maneuver the offense, do your role on defense? Can you play to a standard that the program, that the coaches have for you, that your teammates are holding you to, that you're holding yourself to, and also what you as the fans are holding this program to as well. And in a game, and in a live action scrimmage, there are different situations. You have the scrimmage itself, which is the offense driving on the defense driving on the offense, moving the ball up and down the field. That's the scrimmage itself. But then you have those situational moments where Saban will break it up into, okay, red zone. The first team offense may have 10 times to put the ball in the end zone against the first-team defense with the ball starting off on the 20-yard line. And then you may have 2-minute drill, right? Where it's a 2-minute drill for halftime or 2-minute drill for the fourth quarter where you got to drive that ball down the field in 2 minutes, get a touchdown on the board, get a field goal on the board to tie or win the game or go into the halftime with a lead, some momentum, or with an advantage. Then you have third down situations where you have this many tries to pick up a third down and convert into a first down. So there are situations within the scrimmage, situational football, but then there's the scrimmage itself. And the purpose that Coach Saban has in this is wanting to know or trying to figure out which guys are ready to play winning football, which guys are ready to play sound, who's playing focused, who's playing disciplined, who's playing with that edge that we need for them to have. And for U.S. fans, there are 5 things you want to see done here in this first scrimmage. And we're going to go over all 5 of them right now. So number 1, you want to see the starting group on this offensive line form under Coach Eric Wolford. And the offensive line is the main thing that we have been talking about throughout the entire offseason. It's, the offensive line was not good a season ago, not up to the standard that we have grown so accustomed to seeing. And with Coach Wolford in here replacing Doug Marrone, can this group get back to that standard? And it all starts with having all 5 offensive linemen, your best 5, figured out, rising up, emerging, being put into play. And this first scrimmage, going up against this nasty defensive front led by Will Anderson and Dallas Turner, it's going to force some offensive linemen to grow up quick. It's going to force some offensive linemen to round and to form. It's going to force the offensive linemen to become some dogs there in those trenches when you're going up against the best that the SEC has to offer and the best that the college football playoff has to offer in terms of the postseason. So U.S. fans want to see here from left tackle to right tackle, can the starting 5 form? Can it form quick? Can it form fast under Coach Wolford? And can it play to an elite level? So offensive line, number 1. Number 2, U.S. fans want to see, aside from Jermaine Burton, who comes up at wide receiver? Burton's getting all the conversation so far in spring ball. Strong route runner, smooth in his routes, good out of the break, really good hands, catches the ball cleanly, gets up and down the field, can create separation, really good speed, a guy that's shown that leadership in his positional group. But aside from Burton, who takes this moment? Who takes this opportunity in the first live action practice, especially with Ja'Cory Brooks out? Is it JoJo Earl, who's shown a lot of improvement in spring ball? Is it Christian Leary, who's shown improvement in spring ball? Is it Trayshawn Holden, of which people are waiting to see him step up? Is it a J.I. Hall, to where people are just waiting on him, stop the talking, get down to action, put it together on the field? Who will be the guy or guys? Could it even be a freshman like a Kendrick Law or an Aaron Anderson? Who will be the guy behind Jermaine Burton, crafting that chemistry, that relationship, that camaraderie there with Bryce Young in this first scrimmage? That's the number 2 thing that U.S. fans will have your eye on. Number 3, I'm going to go with this to the running back room, and this will be our first chance to look at Jahmyr Gibbs on the field, game-like action, put the lights on, scrimmage. Let's see what this does. Lights, camera, action. Let's see what this does. Let's see what this is. Let's see who he is, because this entire spring, Nick Saban, I'm highly impressed with him. Love his speed, love his burst, love his explosion, love what he brings. Bryce Young, same thing. Javion Cohen spoke on Thursday. Gibbs does everything well. Explosive cuts, great vision, leadership, leads by example. I can't wait to block for him. I'm excited to block for him. We've been hearing all of these things. And when there is smoke, fire is not too far behind. But in this first scrimmage, we want to see, is it real? Is it really real when you look at Gibbs? Because the tape says one thing, his teammates say one thing, but getting him on the field for this scrimmage, is it real? Can we base this on real? We'll be able to see that here on Saturday. Next up here, as we flip over to the defense, how dominant will the defense look in this scrimmage? Because defense, you got a lot of experienced guys back on this unit. Whether it's the defensive front, whether it's the linebackers, whether it's the secondary, a lot of experience back here on this front. And I understand that, you've got Bryce Young on the other side of the ball, offensively at quarterback. That's going to be, moving that ball up and down the field. You got the running backs and receivers. But at the same time, this defense, what will it look like in this first scrimmage? What will Pete Golding do in this first scrimmage to have this defense playing, out of its mind? Because this is another area of the coin that U.S. fans are asking. Can we get an elite level defense? Can we get a dominant defense? Can we get a soul-crushing defense? We thought that the 2021 defense was going to be that group, and it didn't start rounding into being that group until the latter portion of the year. So starting off here in this first scrimmage of spring ball, what will this defense look like? We know Will Anderson. We know Dallas Turner. There's some guys we know. But other guys, your T.M. Smiths, your D.J. Dales, your Jamel Burrows, your Jamarian Lathams, your Stephon Wins, your Damon Paynes, what are they? What can we see from these guys? Jalen Moody, there's been conversation about, is it finally his time to be a starter, an inside linebacker? What will he look like in this first scrimmage? Your corners, Eli Ricks, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kyrie Jackson, Terrion Arnold, Traquan Fagans. How will the corners look? How will Malachi Moore look back at full go? So what will this defense look like in the first scrimmage? That'll be something. And then last but not least, your people are the backup quarterback. Behind Bryce Young, who takes that first step in a live game action practice? Jalen Milroe, a whole year in the system. He's got a lot to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got big talent. Will he take that first step forward? Or will it be the hotshot freshman 5-star Ty Simpson that people want to see, what he does? So a lot of things to look at here in this first scrimmage, just going over the 5 that I feel like U.S. fans will have your eyes sort of glued to. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. When we get back, we go to the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your conversations. We get back to you on a Free-for-All Friday right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Back inside from the break of the #1 forum for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine on a Free-for-All Friday. Guys, shout out Jimmy, put it in the bag. Cash Money Clay again with that 2012 in the Super Chat, showing love here on the show. Appreciate Jimmy Clay and all of you. Run those likes up. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Smash that like button right now. Make this your show, your network channel, platform, and space to talk Bama. Let's get this thing up to 50 likes, people. I know you can do it. Let's get this thing up here where the show is concerned. And appreciate my man D. Pickett listening all the way from Germany. Appreciate the love there coming from him, bud. We go to the phone lines to take your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, everybody just wanted to call and talk to you today is all it was. It wasn't no April Fool joke.
You know what? That's good right there. That's good right there.
Everybody just wants to talk to the man that runs a TDA. You're the man. They just want to get you on the phone, have a little conversation with you. You know how it is when you get popular. It's you got to make your fans happy, Steven.
You do. You absolutely do. So absolutely, Wagner. That is 100% right.
Anyway, y'all looking good. Yeah, D. Pickett from Germany. Hey, I've been to Germany. I've worked in Germany. We want to give him a shout out. Him or whoever. We love y'all in Germany. I worked over at beautiful country, beautiful people. Anyway, y'all looking good in the Blue Ridge Gang. Y'all keep this going. Y'all make this the hottest show on the street, hottest show on YouTube, hottest show in the world. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, donate, leave a message, call, do something. We love you. We love all y'all. I got to get out of here. I got a lizard loose in the house. I've been outside working all day. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I love all y'all. I'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a safe weekend. Bye-bye, everyone. Happy April Fool.
Appreciate Waylon calling in there. I'm telling you, people, we got fans. We got National Geographic. We got lizards and orangutans. I mean, if you want entertainment, we got you right here in my own words. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Man, it's hard to follow the Prez right there, Stephen. William, up here in Iowa.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, it's just a thing, man. I tell you what, you was talking about that scrimmage there. I was going to ask you, are they going to televise that, or can you give us a full report on it, or what's going to go on with that?
They're not going to televise that, William, and of course, with the COVID protocol still going on, the media will not be able to get any action of the scrimmage. However, I have people I know that will be inside the scrimmage, so they will be feeding me news, notes, videos, what have you, and upon me getting those notes and crafting those, I will be able to get everything to you guys on what took place there behind the scenes from the scrimmage.
Man, I tell you what, you're the man. I tell you what, I appreciate you being able to have that insight there for us. Also, I'm kind of interested in how this Ty Simpson's going to be at, and the rest of them that you was talking about there. I'd love to have been able to see that, but if it can't, that's just the way it goes.
I mean, Ty's looking good in spring ball. I mean, he's looked good in spring practice. Milroe has looked good in spring practice, and that's why, that backup quarterback job behind Bryce, this first scrimmage will let us know, who's taking that first step forward in spring ball to show that they've got more command of the offense in the playbook. So this scrimmage will be interesting.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, I'm feeling a bit under this here. I had to get 2 fillings filled today, and I'm just now getting my feeling back in my lower jaw. So yeah, it took me I got me one of them Hurricane high gravity 25 ounces there, and I'm feeling pretty good. So as the old puppet from Jeff Dunham's Bubba would say, I'm feeling pretty good. All right, roll tide, brother.
Appreciate William calling in here on a Friday. It's never good to have fillings done for your teeth. I mean, I was in braces for 4 years. I know braces don't compare to a filling, but I do know dental pain. So I feel pain right there. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How are we feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing great, my man. What's going on, Bill?
Tonight I got a couple of questions. I understand it's early to make predictions, and I also know, you don't want to alienate anybody. But I'm wondering I'd like your predictions, your feelings on two positions. First of all, I'd like to know who you think is going to be the number 2 quarterback. I'm really torn on this because I like what I saw of Milroe, but I just have this feeling about Simpson. I think he's made for the college game, and he can get out of trouble. Not 100% sure how our line's going to be this year, but that works for both of them, you know what I mean? Because Milroe looks like a great runner, and Simpson looks like a great scrambler. So I'd like your opinion. And also, I want to know who do you think will play nose? And the reason I ask is I think that, we have such good linebackers, maybe the best I've ever seen. And I think if the defensive line comes up, especially at nose, I think that, even the secondary won't be as important, and they look good too. So I think those are I'm really concerned about the nose, and I'd like to know what you think about those two positions.
Absolutely, Bill. Appreciate that. So backup quarterback, give me Milroe. Ty Simpson fits for the college game, he does, but having that year of experience in the system for Milroe, that's a big deal. And the athleticism that young man has, you have to use that. You have to see where is he in terms of that accuracy. Now, what I've been hearing is he's gotten better with it. He's got more acquainted with that playbook. He's got more of a grasp of that playbook. So I want to see him in terms of the future, what he does right there at quarterback. So I would lean more so Milroe. In terms of nose, Alabama's going to put DJ Dale out there more. But for me, I would rather see Tim Smith. Tim Smith gives you a bit more explosion, a bit more quickness, a bit more nasty. I would rather see Tim Smith, but knowing Nick Saban like I do, he is going to see what DJ Dale does first. But I appreciate Bill from New York there. Absolutely. Appreciate my man Bill from New York there with that call. And Bill from New York actually with a $5 donation here in the Super Chats. Bill from New York, that $5 with that. That 99. I gotta get this new prescription put in. That $9.89 from Bill from New York in the Super Chats. Appreciate my man Big Bill helping us out here on the show here. But yeah, I'm leaning more so toward Milroe for that backup quarterback end. Though I would much rather see Tim Smith in that nose position. And he could ultimately pass up DJ Dale. But, Dale, because he's on that leadership council, when he's on that leadership group, and, Saban loyal to his guys to a fault to some extent. But, I can see him throwing Dale out there first and seeing what happens. But continue to get your thoughts in. 205-448-1358. Number to call in. 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Steve? And I'm T calling from Decatur, Alabama. How you doing, man?
Doing good, my man. How are you feeling?
Great, man. I'm excited for the season, man. I just had a question about what you think about the offensive line. They're talking a lot about Seth and Darian, but nobody has mentioned James Brockemeyer. I mean, where is he in the depth chart? Was he in the mix for starting one day?
I think James Brockemeyer is in the mix for starting one day, but James is the third name at center in my opinion. I don't know if he's added any more weight to his frame. I know he came in a little bit smaller than his brother Tommy, but I think he's probably picked up a little bit more weight. I don't know where he is in terms of the system and the playbook and the scheme, but I know when he came out of high school in Texas, highly regarded, a four-star center, natural center. So I think he's the third name behind Seth McLaughlin and Darian Dalcourt.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I was just wondering because I haven't heard much from him. I didn't know if he had, if they needed to work on him some more, or if I thought maybe he had a chance of being a backup this year, but they were still talking about Seth and Darren. But that makes a lot of sense, man. Hey, I enjoy the show. You do a great job, man. And, hey, man, thanks for taking my call, brother.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call right there. So we're going to go to a quick topic right here. And this one, Tua Tagovailoa, I mean, you've got the Dolphin fans that are crazy about him. You got the Alabama fans that are crazy about him. There's been so many just ridiculous rumors going on down there in Miami, but the latest one was, I think it was last week, you had people writing stories on Tom Brady to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to get Tom Brady in a trade. They're going to replace Tua with Tom Brady. And Mike McDaniel not only shut that down, but with Bruce Arians stepping away from being the head coach of Tampa Bay to taking a front office job, Tom will remain the quarterback for Tampa Bay, and this eliminates all rumors of Tom to Miami. Tua Tagovailoa is the guy in South Beach, and that's that. Tua's the guy in Miami. The coaching staff has put so much talent around him in free agency this offseason. They're going to continue to add talent in the draft. Let's see what Tua is in year 3. I've said this quite a few times. When you don't have a coaching staff that's bought into you, it already shatters your psyche. It already shatters your confidence. You're already wondering your self-worth as a quarterback. And now you got a coach that's bought into you. So let's just see what Tua is with Mike McDaniel. Let's just see what he is with the new talent around him at receiver and on the offensive line. Goodness, thank goodness these rumors are over. I just want to see Tua shine, ball out, shut people's mouths up. Hopefully, brother can get this thing done this season. We take a break right now, folks, on the show and touch that down. When we get back, we touch on J.C. Latham, 5-star offensive lineman gunning for a spot on this year's group. We'll talk about him after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back into the action here from the break with number one form for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Our own producer extraordinaire, John Ivory, has got a hilarious poll in the chat line right now. You can vote on that poll for the new channel name. If you're feeling Stephen and the Stevenettes, or Under My Jockstrap, or whatever the other one was. We got a hilarious poll for the new channel name right now. So go ahead and get your vote on. Get your interactions on with that poll there in the chat, courtesy of our own John Ivory in the production studio. But we look at now the Alabama offensive line, and in particular one J.C. Latham, the 5-star who came in the 2021 class by the way of IMG Academy in Florida. His hometown is actually in Wisconsin. And Latham was the most college-ready of the 5 offensive linemen Alabama signed in the 2021 cycle. And I remember our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, gave him a diamond grade of 1, which means he would be an immediate contributor or a game changer. And Justin hit it dead on the head, because Latham did play in 14 games a season ago, got his most work against Cincinnati in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl college football playoff semifinal. Now, Latham in high school was dominant as an offensive tackle, whether that was at Catholic Memorial High School in Wisconsin in 2018, leading the program to a 13-1 record and a Wisconsin Division III state title. 2019 at IMG in his first season led that program, or propelled that program to a 9-1 record. And then 2020 helped IMG to the number one spot in the Max Preps Excellence Top 25 poll there. So we've seen throughout his football playing career how dominant Latham is and how good he can be. He and Evan Neal both from IMG, and Neal, who's projected as a top 5 pick for this draft coming up later in this month, he spoke on how when he's been out there in spring practice, he has seen Latham working at offensive tackle. But along with this now, Javion Cohan spoke on Thursday. And about specifically Latham, he said, look, JC has grown in his intensity. He's picked up his focus. He's grown in his maturity. He's very, very well-rounded. He can play outside. He can play inside. He can play both sides. He's picking up things quickly. We are learning from him. He's really good. He has stepped his game up. J.C. Latham has stepped his game up. And what this means is he is gunning for a starting spot on the offensive line. The question is, though, where will he end up being? Will he end up being more so of a tackle or a guard due to the fact that Coach Saban said there is so much moving pieces here and competition on the offensive line? He named Latham as somebody that can be a tackle or a guard. Cohan can be a tackle or guard. Damian George can be a tackle or guard. There's so much or in here, right? So where will J.C. Latham end up ultimately? That's the question. But it is intriguing coming from Evan Neal that he has worked at left tackle throughout in spring practices when he's been out there watching. And it's intriguing coming from Javion Cohan that Latham has picked up the intensity, the toughness, the focus, the maturity. He's well-rounded. He can play any spot in terms of guard or tackle on the offensive line. And what's cool is Eric Wolford getting his hands on Latham. He's got a chance to produce an All-American player. Got a chance to do this. Wolford at Kentucky. We saw this with Darren Rosenthal and Darren Kennard and all of the guys up front. Luke Fortner, all of the guys up front for the Wildcats, and them producing a Joe Moore finalist group in 2021. So we saw that from Coach Wolford. Now he comes over here with this group, and the offensive linemen, they really like him. They look at him as somebody that, he's different. He's a change of pace. He's a change of scenery. He's a different type of teacher. He's technical. He's sound. He's get down and dirty in the mud and show you and instruct you on how to man block, gap block, zone block, push people down, be aggressive, be the aggressor up front. Coach Wolford is very keen on doing that, so the guys are already bought into what he wants to see this group become. But having a five-star guy like a J.C. Latham and what Wolford can do with him and making him a potential All-American, a potential Outland Trophy winner, a potential SEC Jacobs Blocking Trophy winner, a first-round pick in the years to come. That's the big deal right there. So going to be fun to see how Wolford develops Latham, molds Latham, mentors this young man. But it's really cool here watching him go after a starting spot on this offensive line. He's serious. He's determined. He's putting things together. Big ups there to J.C. Latham. But we take a break here on the show. Touch that dial, because when we get back, we go and return to the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, your chats, your conversations. It's a free-for-all Friday, and we want to hear from you, the Bama fans. We get to you after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back in here, baby, from the break on a free-for-all Friday, TGIF edition of the show. The month of April is in. We got 15 more days of the A-Day game on April 16th, 2 p.m. Central Time from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Big action right there. But the first scrimmage, live action game-like practice taking place on tomorrow. But you're rocking and rolling with the hottest show on the streets right here. And before we get into the phone lines to take your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. Bill from New York had a good point there in the chat line, wanting to know about Tommy Brockermeyer. And the same things being said about J.C. Latham are being said about Brockermeyer also. Javion Cohen mentioned how Brockermeyer has stepped up, and just the entire offensive line as a whole has stepped up. This group knows the importance of playing to a dominant elite standard. They know they did not play to that a season ago. So these guys are fully aware of that. They've got to improve. They got to get better. That 39 sacks that Bryce Young took a season ago, that number needs to be reduced immediately. These guys know what's up. So it's Brockermeyer stepping up, Latham stepping up, George stepping up, Amari Kite stepping up, all of these guys stepping up. The question is where it all boils down, who will be the five ultimately? Now, I think one is going to be Seth McLaughlin at center, so we can just put him there. Who will be the other four ultimately? That's the question. Who's the other four? Who will it be? And will these four give you or us as fans and watching Bama football the type of line that we want to see? The type of line that we need to see, the type of line that, has us knowing, okay, this is a Bama football offensive line. So the same things that Cohen was mentioned about J.C. Latham, he has said about Tommy Brockermeyer, among others, is now who makes up the other four guys to put with Seth McLaughlin on this offensive front, on this offensive unit here. But 205-448-1358, the number to call in. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. 205-448-1358 to get your voice be heard, your opinion be made known here on the show. And as you're getting your thoughts in here, we're going to transition here to a cool little topic, and this topic is going to be on actually the strength staff. So even though Alabama has parted ways from Matt RHEA and Dr. Reyes now with the New Orleans Saints, the Tide has not missed a beat with David Ballou and Paul Constantine. Coach Saban mentioned this during the pro day. He said, hey, we've transitioned great. We've transitioned smooth. We transitioned well. I mean, David Ballou basically runs everything, and Coach Paul C., Coach Constantine, he's given energy, he's given effort, he's maximizing strength and maximizing performance and maximizing injury prevention. We believe in promoting people up from within, raising people up from the inside, and giving people within our ranks an opportunity. And we're right now seeing Coach Paul take advantage of this opportunity, stepping in for the departed Dr. RHEA. And we're seeing, David Ballou emerging even more in his role. If you watch the practice footage, David Ballou is getting a lot of camera time. He's walking around saying, all right, guys, stretch down, up, down, let's go, let's get it. Like, Ballou is walking around leading the stretching line, leading the conditioning line, and making sure these guys are properly, in a good stretch and good position prior to practice starting. So you're seeing, Ballou going full throttle. You're seeing Coach Constantine going full throttle. So even with Dr. RHEA in the NFL now, Alabama still has the guys to make sure that they're handling the strength, the speed, the conditioning, the peak performance, the injury prevention. They're handling all of these things strongly. So this is good right here, seeing that even with one member gone of a Tide, still rolling, transitioning, and moving smoothly. But we're going to actually go to our final break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we provide an update on the Alabama secondary, in particular, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Brian Branch, DeMarco Helms, and Jordan Battle and spring ball. We talk about it after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back in from the break. Number one ticket here for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate you guys checking us out here on a Friday. Continue to hit that like button, smash that like button, run those likes up. Get those likes past the moon, baby. Make this your show. If this is your show, hit that like button. Make this your show, your network, your channel, your platform, your way of entertainment in knowing about Crimson Tide football. But before we get into the final topic of conversation, this is not an April Fool's joke. So this weekend, Arch Manning, five-star quarterback, will be visiting Tuscaloosa this weekend. So Arch Manning's supposed to be visiting along with several other top-rated recruits for the 2023 class. So Arch Manning will be visiting. Does this mean Arch Manning commits? Remains to be seen, but he will be visiting this weekend in Tuscaloosa along with several other top-rated commits. So that's intriguing right there. But folks, I gotta remind you, be sure to check out tdawear.com. That's tdawear.com for all of your fashion, clothing, swag, sauce, drip, culture needs here. You love hearing Touchdown Alabama. Check out those shirts right there, those joggers right there, those hoodies right there. Get yourself prepared for A-Day. Get yourself prepared for the 2022 regular season in the fall by getting you your gear. Link in the description. Check it out right there. Do your shopping right there. Show that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But we're looking at a defensive secondary for the Tide and some updates here as in discussing Kool-Aid McKinstry, DeMarco Helms, Brian Branch, and Jordan Battle. First off, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Teammates have been talking about, he's going from student to teacher. Jordan Battle spoke Thursday about Kool-Aid teaching the young corners the defense. And when I first heard this, I thought, well, he's still kind of learning the defense himself, and he's teaching, but then I snapped back, Kool-Aid learns quick. Kool-Aid learns quick. When Nick Saban is telling you, don't walk on the field, and when you're all SEC freshman, you learn quick. So Kool-Aid's probably teaching some guys some things, instructing some guys in some areas on how to play that spot here at Alabama. But the big thing for Kool-Aid will be him taking that jump as a sophomore, right? Having that speed, playing in phase, breaking up on passes, creating interceptions, being in pocket with these wide receivers, learning how to take away a whole side of the field. That's the big thing for Kool-Aid. Can he take away a whole side of the field and be that island defensive back that a Marlon Humphrey was, a Patrick Surtain was, a Cyrus Jones became, a Javier Arenas was, a Drake Kirkpatrick was, a D. Milner was? Can he be one of those types of defensive backs from years past in Alabama? So that'll be a thing there for Kool-Aid. But he has been training with Justin Woodall, former Alabama safety, 2009 national champion, on ironing the details of being a defensive back. So that's Kool-Aid. What's interesting, though, is DeMarco Hellams and Brian Branch, the biggest, hardest hitters on the defensive secondary. The hardest thumpers in the back five, Branch and Hellams. According to Jordan Battle, he was like, man, BB and Marco, I think they be having concussions, man. They be hitting people too hard. I mean, they be hitting folks. I mean, they lower the boom. Those two lower the boom. And, Branch has a lot of thump to him. We saw this down the stretch of last season. I keep saying this. I would like to see Branch either remain at nickel or move to safety, because a combination or the duo of Branch and Battle at safety, that just spells trouble for receivers. It spells trouble for tight ends. It spells trouble for running backs. And if you're seeing one of those two on a blitz, primarily Brian Branch, it spells trouble for the quarterback. Just go ask Desmond Ridder. He got lit up by Branch in the semifinal college football playoff in the Cotton Bowl there. And I would like to see DeMarco Hellams move to that dime linebacker role. I've said this also. He's a good free safety, but I think he'd be an even better dime linebacker. Move him close to the action so he can just lay people completely on their butt. Put him right there at dime linebacker, because I think that's the spot that he would excel and exceed the most at. But once again, who am I? Just a guy, not Coach Saban, who has to make these decisions on a daily and yearly basis. But Brian Branch, DeMarco Hellams, those two can bring the wood right there, and they're going to do this in this first scrimmage. And so last but not least, update on Jordan Battle. I appreciate Battle's honesty on Thursday. Two things that Battle has given the media in his interviews. He's given you humor, and he's given you honesty. And he spoke Thursday about, him saying how he can be lazy in his coverage at times, and he wants to clean that up and be locked in on defending, on guarding, covering these wide receivers. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the honesty from Jordan Battle. And I believe he will lock in. He will get that done. He will get that cleaned up. He will get that rectified and fixed. Because with him being one of the internal leaders, or the internal guys on the leadership group here for the Tide, and him having all of the potential to be an early first-round pick for the 2023 NFL Draft, I think Battle will clean this stuff up for the upcoming season. He's a great tackler, had 3 interceptions a season ago, including 2 pick sixes. He's grown each year since he's been in the program, so that's a positive. He just now has to put a little bit more polish on his game, a little bit more polish there on the skill set, and he will be good to go. But as always, Tide fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Monday continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Remember, Tide fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, if you want to get that fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link where? In the description. Also, if you're trying to get the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. Appreciate you guys, the Bama fans, checking us out on a Friday. Your donations, your calls, your chats, your conversations, the love, the likes. We appreciate you making this the hottest show on the streets and your number one shop here for all things Tide football. Remember, after the live, for the members, we got you covered. Stay tuned for my final thoughts going into the weekend, going into the first scrimmage here for your Crimson Tide. Check that out. Appreciate my man John Aubrey, as always, doing his thing in the production studio. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, we've made it to the weekend, but continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. You be sure to get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. See you Monday. You've been listening to In My Own Words. Enjoy your weekend, folks.